Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. It is now Sunday night over here in Taiwan, and if you hear any violin music, it's street artists performing outside on the boardwalk down there by the river. Anyway, in this video, I want to do kind of a deep dive into what Gamestop and Loopring can be adding to the NFT and crypto exchange. More so, what issues I see they might be addressing. So sit back and you can welcome to join in this discussion, because this is a discussion, and we're always looking for some extra information as to what Gamestop can be doing. Now, right now, Ethereum remains DeFi as a capital blockchain with its high traction and security, and also it's possibly bridging the multiple chains. It's increasingly congested and suffers from high volatility and, of course, prices, but also tax costs. All this is together. Now, this drives users to other platforms, such as sidechains, for example, Polygon, BSC, the Binance Smart Chain, and also Solana. And also we have the L2s or the ZK rollups, which are just starting to kick off. These platforms, again, varying costs, security, performance, and of course apps availability, which again fuels something called fragmentation. More and more users need to transfer funds between several platforms. Now, it's this fragmentation in the industry, particular centralized and decentralized exchanges, that divide, and again, that pose the biggest threat to the mainstream crypto adoption. All right, so we have this fragmentation that's going on. And again, besides the most common lack of understanding from the public, which is accessibility and trust with crypto, that is another big bridging from public to joining in the crypto stream. There's a lot of issues going on, but more so about the technology. Now, right now, we know about Loopring, but I want to get into something called the ZK snarks. That's another layer 2 rollup. Now, ZK snarks help provide data protection. So when you connect to a third party, it never discloses your data, but allows you to prove anything you want. This is very important because, for example, suppose you visit your account opening somewhere on the internet, and that party asks you for your data. Then, instead of data, you provide a ZK snark of your data to prove that you have the real name and address, but you don't need to disclose it. Okay? That is important. Now, blockchains also provide something called native immutability. If you're familiar with the word immutability, you're familiar with the immutable exchange, we'll talk about later, but immutability is a feature which is integral and mandatory in the consensus mechanism. All right. In other words, immutability is a relative condition that provide a proof to double spending problem to ensure that each transaction gets recorded on the blockchain without being duplicated. All right. This is something I see that could be used along with a GameStop and also hopefully the Loopring exchange. Right. Now, this is ZK snark. Now, timestamping on blockchain. Timestamping is very important because it works in similar fashion. Because it works by using the algorithms to create a digest or a cryptographic string that is a representative piece of data. That digest created by a hash function is based on the characteristics of a document. Now, no two digests are the same unless the data is used to compute the digest. That is the same. All right. Now, the cryptographic digest is attached to the blockchain transaction linked to the time when the document was submitted. This is important because everything's timestamped through blockchain. This allows you to later certify that the document data existed at the time and publicly prove that you have certain information without revealing the data or yourself. This is important for blockchain because decentralization and understanding who, where, and how someone got there. With the decentralized certification, all of this is based on the blockchain network. Now, with all of this timestamping, this is very important for anything you do. It records information, but also how we going to verify data. That comes to the ZK snarks. Now, the key advantage of timestamps are anonymity, privacy, and getting a decentralized proof, which can't be erased or modified by any third parties or governments. Now, I think this because I want to relate this to NFTs, but also security, token securities. Does T0 do this? I'll be looking at that, see if AMC and tokenization to all of this. Now, if you heard about immutability, you probably thought, oh, I know something about Immutable X. Yes, now Immutable X, if you're familiar with them, you go to the website. They do have a token, the IMX token. It was released about 3 weeks ago, and they deal mainly with NFTs. It's an NFT exchange. The network right now currently supports approximately 150,000 NFTs, transactions per day. That's about 30% network usage. Now, the plan for Immutable X is to support more than 200 trades per day while consuming less than 30% of Ethereum's capacity. This is the area that I'm focusing on through Loopring, the ZK rollups, but also what GameStop could be doing with an NFT exchange. Immutable is already there. They have an exchange, their first ZK rollup exchange to work on an Ethereum layer 2 network. How is GameStop going to be going at this any differently? Now, Immutable X adjusts this StarkX technology to NFT-specific requirements, allowing users to mint, deposit, transfer, and withdraw NFTs. All right. Additionally, their team and everybody on there, they're a bunch of features making life for developers easy by abstracting most of the complex smart contracts and the blockchain logic. This is why the project is kind of interesting, because very few developers right now understand how to use Web3 technology, develop a smart contract, and build applications connected to them. Right, so an easy-to-use APIs to enable minting NFTs for in-game items could allow any game to tap on this area. All right, so Web3 plays an integral part of how the NFT and whole environment in the exchange is going to be utilized. So very interesting. Not many people understand Web3 right now because it's still in development. Now, again, Jack Dorsey and Square, they came out with the white paper a couple days ago. Reading over the last 2 days and getting into how this first stage of development, how they want to really kind of develop their exchange for a Bitcoin-based exchange, not Ethereum, right? Now, Square Cash easily allows everyone to receive value without being in the same room. All right, we know about Square. I don't use Square, I live overseas, but the application is going to pave the way for Square to integrate Bitcoin trading with consumer app very easily, right? Square Cash, it's been a great increase for Bitcoin trading and social movements with Bitcoin stacking via the stack stats and a lot of other actions related to purchasing a small amount of Bitcoin weekly. Now, of course, I think that was the beginning of what he wanted to do. And again, taking upon more and more of a role, because in the backdrop of I can imagine Jack Dorsey's head and the management team of Square, what they're going to be doing is to create a complete division dedicated to basically improving flow, design, and interface with crypto. And that's what we saw at the white paper, right? Because anything we have to deal with, the more that they've done in the background with this, it all deals with infrastructure of the crypto ecosystem. Now, this is all for Bitcoin, but GameStop, Loopring, and Immutable X are through Ethereum. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Loopring hasn't come out with anything in the last 3 weeks. They've added more layer 2 support to connect your MetaMask wallet to the Loopring wallet, to the Loopring exchange. That is new, but people keep asking what's going to happen. Well, right now, Loopring's trading at about $2.40. And people are saying, oh, it's overvalued. Well, it's overvalued because of all the FOMO right now. People are getting into it early. I understand that. Will it go up again? Yes, I do see it going up again. I don't know how long in the future, whenever something does get released. If you look at Solana and compare it to other projects that are based with solid exchanges, Solana went up from $9 all the way up to $211. It did take time to get there. I do see Loopring and the ZK rollups as a solid foundation for Ethereum layer 2s. The more companies that dive into the ZK rollups and use the Loopring application and the Loopring protocol is going to be a benefit for the coin, because again, scarcity, and for the DAO, everything that is going to be related around the LRC token. Now, how that relates to GameStop, it's unrelated. I have no idea, but I think when I look at Immutable X and I look at what Jack Dorsey and Twitter is going to be using, and if you got Binance, all the other exchanges, and I kind of look at how and what they're developing, I have to think, what is GameStop going? Because what are they missing? Because whenever you have an idea, whenever something's wrong, you want to find an answer to that. What is missing right now in the ecosystem with NFTs? What is missing right now with the advent of an exchange with crypto? These are questions I'm asking. These are questions I'm digging into, because you're looking for ease of use, but also something to pretty much screw the short sellers. Get rid of the middleman. I'm sure Ryan Cohen will release something. Will be able to get off his zipped mouth. I think on the 23rd, about next week sometime. But I'm sure he's not going to drop a lot. I'm just wondering if he's going to drop a white paper for the exchange. That again that's going to be something interesting. If that drops, yes, everything will rise. So let me know your thoughts. There's a lot going on with Immutable X, with Jack Dorsey, GameStop coming around, and Loopring. And I'm sure everything, and of course, Web3. Because Web3 and crypto are, again, they are hand in hand. And Web3 and NFTs, they have to work together for that user experience. So there's a lot going on. Anyway, keep this at 10 minutes, and open the floor to discussion with all of you. So guys, have a great weekend, and game on.